Hello everybody, this is Math 10 A&W with Mr. Sandhu, and we are in Chapter 1.1 of your Math 10 Mathworks workbook. We're doing example number 2 on page 11. So what they're asking for us to do here is solve for x in this equation containing fractions. So we've got a proportion here, we've got one ratio compared to another ratio, but we have an unknown amount here. We want to solve for this amount. So they give us a solution to do this, and I got to tell you that the solution, although it's good in the workbook, it's far more complicated than we need to do in this course. What they're essentially doing in a sense here, they're saying, okay, why don't we eliminate the fractions altogether? Because they feel fractions, they might freak people out a bit. Let's just get rid of the fractions. So they made both sides bigger by 48 times. And by doing that, this side becomes 48 times bigger, and you get 48 on top and 240 on the bottom. And then when you divide 48 and 16, you get 3. And when you divide 240 and 24, you get 10. And now, in a couple steps there, you've eliminated the fractions, and you've made an equation that is much easier to look at and a lot less scary to work with. So that's a great idea, but in all honesty, when I look at how many steps are here, I don't know that we need to do it that way. I mean, in their alternative solution, same thing. They're attempting to eliminate all of the fractions. They made, both sides bigger by a 16 and a 24. All right. And the reason they did that is that this 16 that they're multiplying over here is going to cause a nice cancellation, and this 24 is going to cause a nice cancellation, right? And so you get rid of all the fractions, and this side is going to end up being 24 times bigger. This side is going to end up being, 16 times bigger in the end. That's not really the way they did it here. They went 384 and 384, but by the time everything happens, you can see I'm correct. It makes this side 24 times bigger, and this side is going to be 16 times bigger. There's no more fractions. I mean, this is a good strategy. It is, and it's a very useful strategy in further grades when you get into Math 11 and whatnot. But I got to tell you, for this course and for the time we have, look at how long this is. That's a lot of work. And I'm just going to show you a very quick and easy way to do this. The strategy I'm going to show you works for lots of different things in this course, and you're going to find it's quick and it's useful. So here we go. What we're going to do is use a shortcut to the whole thing called cross multiply and divide. So there's cross multiply. Okay, and divide. Good. Just shorten that there. Here's what the cross multiply is. Cross multiply is when you multiply these two numbers here, and then you divide by 24. And the reason that I know that that's the ones that do the multiplying, that's the one that does the dividing, is the first step is to look at the x. Identify the variable, and whichever number is across on an angle, on a diagonal, that number is going to be doing the dividing. Okay, so 24 is going to be doing the dividing because it's across from the x on a diagonal. The other two numbers that are across from one another are going to be the cross multiplication. All right, so 16 and 5 are the cross multipliers, and the number that's across from the x on a diagonal is the divider. So it's going to be 16 times 5 divided by 24. All right? And that's going to give us our answer. But, I really don't like the way this looks, because that looks like an x. That's a multiplication sign, but it looks like the variable. It's confusing, and in algebra, we don't consider that correct writing. So let's write this properly. Here's how it's going to work. X equals, actually I'm going to give myself more room here. X is going to equal 16 times 5, because those are the multipliers. 16 times 5 divided by the 24. Now this looks correct. In terms of algebra, it's the way we should be writing without any x's for multiplication symbols. All right, x is those two multiplied divided by the 24, which means x is, and in one shot, we have x is going to be 16 times 5 equals 80, divided by 24 equals 3.3. Repeat. It's 3.333333, so let's just do that. 3.3 bar. Some of us are good enough at identifying that a 0.33333 is the same as a third. So some of us could say that that's 3 wholes, and that little bit left over is a third. We can recognize that. If you can't, it's okay. There's ways to figure it out. We're not showing you that in this video. There it is, guys. Look at all of this work that they're expecting us to do in these two strategies, because they want you to learn a really useful technique. But let's just cross multiply and divide and get this answer in a very short period of time. And this technique of cross multiply and divide is going to be used over and over and over in this course. So I suggest that's the way we do it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.